I suggest a new strategy, Arthur.
Only different in your mind.
Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only
How can you be my best friend and not know what I do?
I know what you do. I know you manage, but I don't know how many restaurants. I know you manage one.
Yeah.
You're like the boss of it, but is it more than one?
No, I know. At the moment, I'm only focused on one restaurant. Yeah,
Okay.
So,
Okay.
and that's where, yeah. So,
Okay,
but
so
you
I was
did. I
right.
just wanted to give you poop. So,
I know.
Yeah. I was like, when I was watching the little mini episode, I was like, oh, she doesn't know what I do.
I know you're like the boss of some things, of a restaurant. But I know like they've opened
Yes.
new ones, and so it got confusing.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I am. Yeah. I am. I run the sports bar. So.
Yeah. Okay.
I was just laughing though. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so funny. I was like,
Yeah, 'cause
she
as I was
doesn't
saying it,
know.
I was like, oh shit.
So, how funny is it though that video showed up today of like from like 2 years ago and our conversation that we're having, and then 2 years later, look at us.
I thought the same
You
thing.
know,
I was like, that's perfect. God.
yeah.
Can't believe that was two
That's why
years
I was
ago.
like, oh man, I was like, I need to. I know, trust me. Like some of the workout videos I was watching because it was on my Snapchat, so it just popped up, and I'm like, was that really 3 years ago? Like some of the videos that I have, I was like, that was 5 years ago. How is it? How has it been
Wild.
5 years? But then it's like 2020 was a blur for me. So I guess,
That was a weird year for sure.
like yeah, no, literally. Cause I literally feel like, so what? So we hung out the Tuesday before the world shut down because we went to trivia night,
Literally.
right? So like, I'm like,
No,
we went to
no.
trivia night on
It was St. Patrick's Day.
yeah, I know. And it was trivia night that night.
Was it? No. Okay. I don't think it was. I don't think we started doing trivia night till after. It was just St. Patrick's Day.
No, it was trivia night,
Okay.
but it was a Tuesday, right?
I don't remember the day.
You're right. So, but I do because I remember it was a Tuesday because I took it off and then I came into work on my day off and then we shut down all the restaurants. But it really does, like what I'm getting at is like, it totally feels like that time was
Like gone.
yesterday.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I feel like that was literally yesterday. And I'm like, where did all the time go?
Yeah, because it's already June 2023.
Now look at you. You're I know. It's crazy. I'm like, half the year is already over. Like, what are we doing?
Getting old.
So, literally. I feel good, though. Like, I feel like, I hit 225 the last couple of weeks on bench,
That's not
which
bad.
felt really, really good. Because I haven't gone that heavy. And then, like, I just kind of told myself, like, quit being a bee and
Just do it.
get back to it. I did like your video last week. I think you touched a lot of bases that most people don't want to talk about, So, and I think
What I
like
do.
I know we've had this conversation. Yeah, and I know we've had this conversation a couple of times about how afraid women are when it comes to weight loss or lifting heavy and stuff. So I think it's good that you're putting it out there from a female's perspective of, hey, look, I ate a ton of food while working out and I still lost weight. Like, don't starve yourself. Don't do a shit ton of cardio.
Yeah, starving yourself, you don't lose anything. And people are like, well, I'm not eating a lot and I'm not
Yeah.
losing weight. I'm like, that's your problem. You need to eat food in
Yeah.
order to lose weight. Doesn't make sense, but it does make sense.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and it's just the same thing with dudes and strength. Like, I remember I had a guy a while back tell me like, how much do you weigh? And I'm like, oh, I weigh like, like 240. And he's like, oh, there's no way you weigh that much more. You're 20 pounds heavier than me. Like, no way, I'm bigger than you. And I'm like, yeah, you might be 2 inches taller than me, but you're not bigger than me. Like, I weigh more than you, like, but then I also ask him like, well, what are you eating throughout the day? And he's like, oh, I wake up, I get a Taco Bell crunch wrap. And, then like, I'll go to Panda and get like, a bowl, and then I'll drink a Monster and go to the gym, and then I'll have a protein shake, and I'll get McDonald's. And I'm like, what? You're getting calories, but they're empty calories. Like, what are you doing? Like,
You
no wonder
get
why you
nothing
can't
out
gain
of
no
it.
weight. You're fucking, yeah, you have no nutritional value. I mean, like, I guess like if you go to Panda and you get like the marinated thigh meat and rice, then yeah, that's somewhat okay. But Crunch Wrap, even though they're delicious, I'm not gonna lie, is not gonna. It's not gonna fuel your body for the energy that you need while you're working out. So,
No, like I said, just empty calories. It fills you up for a little
yeah,
bit, and then that's about it. And it tastes good.
yeah, literally. And I just like, I sit there and think about all the times that I've gone to the gym fasted and like I was just starving. I'm like, I could just get so much better workout if I would wake up a little bit earlier, have breakfast, and be actually on time to the gym with a full meal in my stomach as opposed to just having like an apple or a banana.
Yeah, I've learned that doesn't work for me. I need to have. That's why my breakfast is my biggest meal because I work out right after it usually. It takes about like 25 minutes to get to work and then
Yeah.
it's like digested and which so today I've been taking creatine again
Yeah.
and I always have my breakfast and then like I don't know, right before I leave, I take creatine and it's upsetting my stomach.
How much are you taking?
It's only like one scoop of it, the 5 milligrams, like the
Okay,
serving.
but is there creatine? Is there creatine in any other stuff that you take? Because the body can only naturally absorb 5 grams of creatine, and then the rest you're going to expel out.
I mean, I don't really take anything else other than my vitamins, fish oil, magnesium, creatine. Those are all my supplements. I don't even take protein powder now that I have the perfect
No,
amino.
what? So there, isn't there creatine in the aminos?
I don't think so. It's just the valine, leucine, isolene.
Check your lab.
I'll have to check it.
Check check your labels, and then what if you have? Are you because you cut out the energy drinks, right? Like the Bangs and the Ghost.
Yeah, for the most part. Not gonna lie, I had 2 this week, but yeah, for the most part, I don't have them. Like today, I didn't have one.
What are you drinking your creatine with?
Just water. I used to take it with greens, but then that was really
Are
making my
you
tummy hurt.
are you drinking coffee first and then creatine like within 2 hours of themselves?
Yeah, I have my coffee at 5 in the morning. Just kidding, 6 in the morning. I usually sip on that till about 7:30, and then I usually have my creatine like at 7:30. So you think that might be it?
Try it later in the day.
Okay, I'll try that. Because yeah, my workout today, I was like, ugh,
Yeah.
I just don't
Or
feel
or
good.
break. Yeah. Yeah, you don't want that sloshy feeling.
Yeah. Hmm. Yeah, I just popped my head today. I was like, I
So,
gotta ask him.
but yeah, try it. Yeah, try it later in the day. Maybe mix it with your protein shake.
Okay. So like after my
So,
workout.
and then yeah,
Okay.
yeah. See how that goes. So, did you watch Secret Invasion yet, or are you waiting for Randall?
Is that out already? It is out, huh?
Yeah, I went to watch it last night, but so um, I started Walking Dead years ago, and even though it went up and down, I chose to watch Fear of the Walking Dead this is kind of like a Sunday ritual, because at the time, like, I was getting off early. So, like, I'd go home, grab some food, I'd sit down, watch Fear the Walking Dead. Well, now they're on the final season, so I chose to watch that last night when I got home from work because I had a really long day and I didn't get to watch it on Sunday. And then after it, because this is the final season, so I'm like, let's just finish it and then I'll be done with it because I hate starting shows and not finishing them. So I'm like, there's only like 10 episodes, so whatever. But I ended up falling asleep 5-6 minutes into Secret Invasion last night. So I was like, damn, I'm going to have to watch it tonight.
It looks good.
It does look good. It does.
I was trying to pull it up to see, but
And
it won't let me see it right now.
Well, and it's something that we could talk about.
Heck yeah. Yeah, because I'll probably
next
wait till
week when
this weekend.
Yeah.
Did you see the Flash movie yet?
No.
Me either.
A lot of so here's the thing though. A lot of people are saying it's great, and then I went on YouTube to watch Boss Bounty, and there's like a ton of like, oh, why the Flash flopped? Why the Flash flopped? And I'm like, are they saying that it flopped because it didn't make the amount of money they anticipated it making with all the hype around it? Because I'm pretty sure it still did pretty well in the box office. And the critic scores are pretty high for it, and the scores for the general audience. So I'm like, are they just calling it a flop because it didn't make $180 million? Ooh.
Probably. It's all about the money.
Sorry. Yeah, it's all about that cheddar.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah, because I heard it's really good.
And so did I. And I'm just like, I'm kind of curious too, because like, I was like, I want to go into it with no spoilers. And then like, I've seen like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And then they're like, oh, we shot 3 or 4 different endings for it because of this character coming back, or this character might have come back and this character might have come back. And I'm just like, okay, what is this? Like, they can't make up their mind because they did the same thing with Fast and the Furious, the last one. They're making 3 of them for the final one.
That's too much.
I stopped with those. I can't. Yeah.
I've seen 2 of them.
The unrealistic action scenes is ridiculous. Yeah, take me back to Tokyo Drift. I mean, ding, 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 you know?
Yeah, now they're trying too hard. Like, just move on, guys.
Yeah. Yeah, I watched this. So I watched honest trailers on it yesterday before I went to work, and like they were doing this funny thing. And they were like, let's count how many unrealistic stunts were performed or something. And there's like this one of this little kid like flying out of a car, and then Dom flies the car and grabs him. Oh I'm like, that was fake as shit.
Gotta keep it interesting, you know.
I know. So what? Ahsoka comes out in August, right?
August 23rd.
August 23rd. So this is what I'm thinking. I'm going to watch it Tuesday nights when I get home. You watch it Wednesdays, and then we will immediately shoot that night.
Yeah, because I can watch it during the day.
Yeah, definitely.
So then it's all fresh in our brains.
I think it'll be good. Yeah, literally. I did, want to just say that I was right too about Rebels and Clone Wars. I'm glad that you admitted it. I know it's hard for you to admit other people are right, but I am happy that I was right.
I'm getting better at it. Okay,
I was
better
like,
in my old age.
I was like, what? I was like, she must have had a fever. Mariah admitted that somebody was right. We got another win, Randall. We got another win.
Like that. I'm getting better, okay? Okay. Sometimes you guys are right. Sometimes.
I know. I know. I think back to like on all like the little times when we'd argue about little things, and you're like, no, I'm right. And I'm like, no. And then you'd get this like, you put your head down and you're like, your eyebrows would go like this, and you're just like, and then you're just looking on your phone and you're like, oh, whatever. I mean, we were both right. I'm like, yeah, we were both right, Mariah. You're right. We were. But
That's me admitting that I'm wrong. It's just the way I admit
no,
it.
I know. Yeah, you're like, you were right, but I was kind of right too. So,
Double win.
but I was thinking about it too. I was like, okay, this is the way that I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be present day, and then they're going to cut back, and we're going to get to see from the bridge scene when Ahsoka goes and picks up Sabine, and they go to find Ezra. I think we're going to see a bit of that. And I think when you see Ahsoka fight the Inquisitor, and I think when you see her fight the HK droids, I think that's going to be a flashback to wherever she went, whatever that little area was, whether it's like a Jedi temple or something on a different planet.
And see, like, because wasn't there in one of the trailers, Sabine, she had the long hair, and then she had short hair. So
Yes.
obviously, that's going to be, the
Yes.
short hair is going to be in a flashback for sure. Because at the end of Rebels, her hair is gone.
Yeah.
When they all went their separate ways.
So, yeah. And I almost feel like that cut scene when Sabine's sitting on the what is it, like the little terrace, and Ahsoka's ship flies by. I think that's going to be just like a recap of her going to get Sabine. Like, I think we're going to just get to see that live action part, and that's where it's going to start off. And then I was just like, so.
Yeah, because I forget how long they said at the ending, even though I just watched it. But it talked about how they all went their separate ways, and what's his face fought in the battle, or they fought in the Battle of Endor, yada yada. And then she's realizing, I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And then Sabine was like, I think my mission is to find Ezra. I think that's what he meant, but I forget what the timeline was. But it's like they've already lived their lives for a while. Then she was like, I think I should go find him now.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, my eye itches. It's the price you pay for having long eyelashes.
Right. Struggle.
But I know, right? They're like, your eyelashes are so long. I was like, yeah, that sucks. Go pay for yours. But yeah, no. So I think that's what they're gonna. I think that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna do a couple of cut scenes like that. But I wanted to speculate who we were gonna see in the show. Who do you think they're gonna put for like maybe like Easter eggs? Like what actors?
Actors?
Yeah, like, or characters, I would say. Like, you know, like an easily given would be like Anthony Daniels as C3PO and a little R2D2.
I didn't think about them
But
being
who
in
else
it.
do you think we're gonna see? Yeah. So, do you think that we're gonna see maybe Bail Organa or Mon Mothma? Oh wait, no, I think Mon Mothma has been shown, right, in the trailer. I'm pretty sure she has. I'd have to look back on it.
Said I have to look back too. It's all like a mush and a blur now for me. All the Star Wars content all comes
Yeah.
together. I definitely think Bail Organa would make sense. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think back on Rebels. I did say I think it was the second episode. I think Hondo would be cool. But I don't know unless they just give little tidbits here and there.
Yeah, I do think Hondo would be pretty cool too. I like the mercenary slash like he's a pirate, but he's kind of got a good heart, you know.
Mm-hmm. Especially
But then also
Ezra.
he doesn't care to leave his. Yeah.
What's that guy's name?
I wonder if the.
Oh my gosh, I don't know if you remember, but they basically traded Hera for him. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look it up. He's a gross looking guy.
What in Rebels?
Yeah.
Oh, I know who you're talking about. The assassin that fights like Salboba.
No, he's not an assassin.
Right? And he's got. He was there. He was Thrawn's like right hand man, and he fights like Salboba, and he had like the gray skin. He gets kicked. Yeah. So, because he gets kicked out of the window. right?
That's a different character.
Like during one of the fight scenes when they have when
I
they
know who
have
you're
the
talking about.
glider, when they yeah, so when they go into to get Hera, or what was his name? What was the name of the character with the blonde hair that ended up turning into be a spy? The code name was Volcrum that he was using when he was in the Empire.
Oh, and he was a spy?
The one that the one that thought he killed all of Zeb's people.
Oh my god, I'm totally blanking on his name.
Yeah, it's
The
me
older
too.
guy. And it was a trap, and they came in, and they're like, oh, he's a spy. Brr.
Yeah, and then damn, what was his name? And he fought with the staff.
Mm-hmm.
There was that one episode where there was the one episode where him and Zeb got stuck in like that little cave with the spider. I think it was.
Oh my
I
god,
can't
that's gonna.
remember
I
his
love his
name.
character too. And I cannot think of his name. Rebels.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure it out. We can cut out all this Blake noise. Callus.
Just like you get you just put this little like clock do do
Do,
do
do,
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 or the
do, do,
SpongeBob
do.
11 minutes later.
Right. But yeah. Callus.
I'm all yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I like him, honestly. That would be cool to see him.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I thought that would be cool, and then I also thought that so when I'm looking at the camera, I feel like my eyes are pointed the opposite way. But then I'm also just looking in the middle at your face.
I'm just looking
Sorry,
at your
I have a
face.
squirrel brain sometimes.
Squirrel.
And now you're blank.
Oh my god.
Well, maybe I should take some pre-workout. So I was thinking of him, and then I also thought it would be cool to see. I know that they said that Rex was going to be in it, but I'm also wondering who else they would show. And you think we're gonna get some flashbacks of Anakin?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. Because they said he's going to be in it, but it could be a flashback.
Oh.
Or it could be Force Ghost, they said. I think it's more flashbacks. Like
Yeah,
a
that's what I was
Clone Wars
thinking too. So I
flashback.
think, yeah, that would be dope. That would be awesome.
I'd die.
Definitely awesome. Would you?
Yeah. To see like Clone Wars Anakin like live, like with his face there.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. My cat's gonna be in the picture.
And my cat's over here too.
I know. I could hear. Which one is it?
Butterscotch.
He must hear my voice
What are you
because
doing?
he likes. I'm gonna make some pre-workout.
Oh my god.
I told myself I wasn't gonna go to the gym, and then I was like, you know what? You can go hit some arms.
Yeah, don't be a baby. Just do it.
Fucking do it. I'm gonna take next week off as a deload. So, and I
Yes.
was just talking earlier about this, about having a deload week, because they were like, isn't it weird that you're not going to work out for a couple of days? And I'm like, no, it's good to not work out for a couple of days. Like you want to. Oh yeah, by the way, I'm having blood raz bucked up. So it's only got 200 milligrams of caffeine, but it's the only pre-workout that I've been able to take that makes me feel the same. And I've been drinking this for 3 months.
Huh. I've only had their energy drinks, not
Yeah.
pre-workout
So I was
yet.
like, I was like, this must be really good. And then I also have their Pixie Stick, which is a pump formula. I like.
Do you mix
these.
it?
Yeah. This is a non-stem though. So
Oh,
it's a non-stimulant. So it doesn't have any like extra caffeine or anything like that. It's just got everything that you need to pump up. And since my biceps are a smaller muscle group, I like to flood as much blood as possible into them. So
maybe I'll try this one day.
we got to keep it raw and gritty. We got to keep it raw and gritty up in here. I don't give a frick. Bom, bom, bom. Most people are like, "Oh, I can't do this in front of the cameras because I'm going to be worried about what people think of me, this, and that." And nope, look at Mariah with all her nerdy ass content.
It's been so much fun making though.
No, yeah, no, I totally get it, and I agree 100%. Like everybody is so worried about what other people think about themselves, and I'm not going to lie. At one point in time, I was the exact same as well. You know what I mean? Like you have that ego, and if you don't know how to keep it in check or realize that at the end of the day, everybody's living their own lives. And even though you may think that they care about your life, they don't care about your life. You know what I mean?
It's just a
So
waste of
some
time.
people are along for the, yeah, and some people are along for the journey, and some people root you on, and some people will be rooting you on in life that you don't even know that are rooting for you. And then there's people that you think that are rooting for you, and they're secretly hating on you behind their back. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? And it was like, and the reason why I say this too is just because like me and Michael had a conversation before he left, because we spent a little bit of time together and stuff, and I really realized that like I was fucking negative Nancy for a while. You know what I mean? And like I could see why like he didn't want to hang out because it was negative, and it's just like why waste your time being negative, and why even worry about like oh what content like. And the reason why I'm saying this too is like how you were talking about in last week's episode about content and posting all these things, and at the point where it just becomes like it doesn't even feel fun.
And social media, I feel like should be fun. That's what it's social, like So to me, it should be an entertainment thing. And last 3 years, it's just been
Use
boring.
yeah, like working out. When you said I'm fine, I'm falling in love again with working out, I was like yes, me freaking too. Me too. Like I'm doing movements that I normally wouldn't have done, and I'm doing things that I did. I'm stepping out of my comfort zone
Pre-workout's kicking in.
and trying exercise. I only had one sip. Ah, no, I'm just kidding. um, my cat's in the background. I had to move my camera, but sorry. Where am I at?
Falling in love with the
Squirrel.
working out.
Yeah, I am though. So I'm doing workouts and normal things, but I'm also doing stuff that I normally wouldn't do, and I'm finding it to be challenging, which is making me want to push harder. And like that's why like I went so hard the other day. Like I had Taylor spot me on bench. I was like, oh, that's easy. And then uh, I had Charlie spot me the next week because he happened to be there, and I was just like, man, this feels really really good. And he's like, you can go up. And I'm like, no, let's keep the ego in check. I know I can go up, but let's get comfortable with lifting this so I can help prevent injuries, you know?
Baby step it.
And I have to, yeah, and I have to tell myself that all the time. Like, man, I need to just keep the ego in check. And just because I do feel strong on certain movements, let's not push past it.
Well, it's like
You
there's
know?
a guy. He's older,
So,
but he lifts really heavy at the gym, and we were talking about bench press, and he's like, "I guarantee that I can get you pressing 135 in no time." And I'm like, I took a year off of bench pressing, and I'm getting back into it, and I'm already. Hold on, I gotta do some math. Plus, I'm already back up to
well, this isn't.
105 for bench press. So I'm like I think that's pretty good in the last couple months,
That's
just
good.
because that muscle memory, because what was I before? Wait, no. I lied. Just kidding. I'm up to 85. Before I was up to 9, almost 100, 105, 115, something like that when I was working out with you.
Yeah. Yeah.
But still, that's, so I'm like, dude, I don't want to push it and try to get 135 just to get 135. Like,
Yeah. Well, also too, it's like, okay, so it's funny that you said that though, because I literally just had a kid the other day who asked me to spot him at the gym. And he just like randomly came up to me. I was just doing some bench pressing and he goes, "Oh, hey, do you think you could spot me real quick? Do you know how to back squat spot?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I do. Like, what's up?" And then he was just like this, I'd never seen him before, but like a little shorter guy. And I said, "Yeah, no problem. What are you wanting to lift?" He said, "Oh, I'm going to try 2 plates." And I said, "Well, how much are you lifting right now?" He's like, "I want to go 2 plates." Before I could even get the answer, he's like, "I want to go 2 plates ass to grass." And I'm like, okay. And I'm like looking at his bar, and his bar was positioned higher than him. So he's having to get on his tippy toes just to even unrack the bar. And I'm like, ugh. So I'm like, "How much weight do you usually use?" And he's like, 135. And I just couldn't help myself. I said, "You want to go from 135 to 225 and you've never attempted it?" And he was like, "Yeah, I want to see how many I can get." And I was like, "Have you ever lifted more than 135 for reps?" And he's like, "No." And I said, "Do you want my honest opinion?" And he was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Put some tens on and try first." I said, "And work your way up." I said, "Because you're going from 135 to 225, and there's a huge gap between that." I was like, "You're trying to get to the finish line without running." I said, "Start with, 155. See how that feels. See if you can pump it out. And then in a week or two, try 165 and slowly progress yourself up there." I was like, "You'll get better results." I was like, "Also, do you even have a belt on or anything?" Like, and he's like, "No, I just want to go ass to grass." And I'm like,
I just want to blow my whole back out. The
I was
tortoise in the
like,
hair, guys.
I was
Tortoise in
like,
the hair.
yes, exactly. Bodybuilding is not a sprint by any means, and it's just one of those things where it's just like, I said, try tens. I said, because you don't think 10 pounds is a lot of weight, but you put 10 pounds on something that you haven't done before, it's going to feel
It's
heavy,
heavy.
you know? So I watched him and he did it, and it looked pretty easy for him. And then I watched him put 185 on and squat, and he struggled. And I was like, there we go. But also, too, like I told him, too, like, it's good. Now you know that you can get like 185 for 1 rep. So you can do 160, 165 for a couple of reps to build yourself up,
Yeah.
So
It's like today.
I'm like, I have become that old.
You what?
Sorry. I said, I've become that older guy that was in the gym when I was, 27 years old when I first started working out. And, "Oh, make sure you wrap up, buddy. Don't slam
Right.
so hard." You know what I mean? So
Wear your belt.
I'm like, the Padawan has become the master.
Yep. Or anytime I'd go out when it's cold. Where's your jacket? Where's your sweatpants? You're gonna get cold. It's bad for your muscles.
I know. That's the dad in me. That's
Yeah.
the dad in me. It's so funny.
Yeah. You get so mad at me.
One of my old employees, yeah, I would. I'd be like, "Where's your sweater?" You're like, "I didn't bring one." One of my old employees, she'd be like, "Gosh, Dad, I know." I was like, "Well, wear your damn sweater. I don't want you getting sick and missing work because I'm not going to pick up your slack."
I mean, that's true.
So, but yeah. Did you think of your 5 underrated characters in
No,
Star Wars?
no,
You didn't?
no, because I wasn't sure if
Did
we are doing
you
that.
think of your 5? It's okay. I was just going to wing it off the top of the dome.
Well, then you can go first.
Let's
Go.
go with so okay, so do you want to do 5 favorite characters, cuz you could probably do that one
Yeah,
the
let's do
easiest.
that first, and then
Right.
I'll start making
You remember
lists later.
5. Okay, so how about do you want to start from the least to the your most favorite?
Yes. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so yeah. So who would be your least most favorite character?
My least most favorite. Hold on. I'm gonna make a quick little list because I gotta make sure.
So while you're creating your list, I'll go ahead and explain. So the other day you said that you were bringing up the memory of watching Star Wars um, with your dad, and that's how you and your brother fell in love with it and stuff, and how like the Star Wars community is a great community, and the fans are so great, but also like some of them are so toxic, and we kind of elaborated a little bit on it, I think, in like the first or second episode about how, each generation is going to like their generation of Star Wars, and the older generation aren't going to like it quite as much. Um, so you said that you watched it with your dad and your brother, and that's how like you fell in love with it and everything like that. So after you had said that, I was thinking about it when I was at the gym working out, and for me, my love of Star Wars stems from when I was younger. I my very first memory of watching Star Wars was actually watching Return of the Jedi. I didn't know that I was going to bore you with this conversation.
No, I'm sorry.
You're
My
back.
cat was in my plant, and I don't want her peeing in it.
No, I know. I'm just, I was just making a joke. Don't want to get too sentimental.
I'm sorry. I don't
We
want her
gotta
peeing in my
cut
plant.
it out.
Anyways,
No,
carry
I
on.
wouldn't want her peeing in my plant either. No. So the very first Star Wars movie that I ever watched was Return of the Jedi. And I don't really have any other memory earlier than this one. I was probably in like 5th grade, and my friend Jeff had told me about it and was like, "Oh, it's so cool, this, and that." Like, and then I watched it, and like I fell in love with it, and I was just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool." And right around that time, Power of the Force 2 was unleashing their action figures. Hasbro was doing their re-release. They were going to get hyped up for the new movies and this and that. So I remember going to like my local comic store and like seeing the action figures in the comic store. That was the first place that I had ever seen them, and like seeing like the old Kenner speeder bike still in the box, and just like loving the artwork on the packages. Like I loved it. You know what I mean? The little scenes, the cut scenes, all of that. Like that was like what hooked me in, was the carded action figures, and watching this and having it. And um, not to say that like I had a bad childhood, but like there was a lot of rough patches. So like anytime ever in my life, I always had that franchise to go back to. So no matter like what was going on, it was a happy place. And I think that's where like my love for it came from so much. And I think that's why like some of us in the community get so defensive when it's not, and the expectation isn't met
Mm-hmm.
by these people who say that they love it as much as you love it. So I can see why some of the fandom is so teeter totter on the pendulum. But for me, I just look at it as like, except for the Last Jedi, um, I like it as a whole because you're getting to see so much. So it's like those were like my very first memories of Star Wars, and I remember like the Halloween, my mom took me and my little brother out, and we stopped by the comic shop, and she was like, "You can have anything in this display case as a Halloween gift," because I had gotten to know them so well. And I was like, "Wow, really?" And I was like, "I'm gonna take the Luke Skywalker." And it was my very first Star Wars action figure. It was Farm Boy Luke in the Power of the Force 2 orange card back, and it was the long lightsaber, which is funny because I actually broke the lightsaber down for it to be smaller because I didn't like how long it was. And that just started my obsession. And I went back and I watched all the movies, and my mom bought me all three movies, I think for Christmas. And I just that's all I would watch. And I would just submerge myself in it. And me and my friends would reenact it and everything like that. And it's it was always a joyful time. And then you fast forward to now I'm, an adult in my 20s, and I have kids, and I wanted to pass that on to them, and it's so they weren't old enough for, sorry, Tyler's texting me. They weren't old enough for Return of the Jedi. And I think Angelina went to no, she didn't even go to Revenge of the Sith with me, but I started with them for Star Wars with the Clone Wars movie that went and got released in the movie theaters. So every movie since Clone Wars, the girls have gone to the movies with me, and every TV show we have watched together. So I don't just look at it as sorry, there was a hair. I don't just look at it as this theme that other people casually like, but also it's something that I was able to bond over with my daughters, and when the time comes, they'll still have that. So for me, it carries on a little bit more sentimental.
That's sweet.
Sentimentalness. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's sweet.
Also, it gives you good bragging rights when your daughter can out nerd somebody else at school when they're getting Star Wars trivia wrong.
She's all, actually.
But that's why. Then that's one. Yeah, she was like, actually, Anakin did train Ahsoka. No, I don't remember what the conversation was. I'll have to ask her when she gets home from work. But for me, that's where my love of it is, and it means more than just entertainment for me, because it's something that we got to bond over, kind of like how we do.
I was about to say, because even you and I think we would have been friends still because we spent so much time together, but I feel like our friendship really blossomed because of Star Wars. Because it was just oh,
Yeah,
okay,
definitely.
You like Star Wars? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. I remember when you came over and we went through my boxes and we didn't even get through all of them, and it was 3 hours of going through all of these totes full of Star Wars stuff, and I was like, well, there's still 3 totes left, and they're the biggest one, so we're gonna have to do this another time.
You have a lot of Star Wars stuff. That's for sure.
I know, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I know, it's crazy. I need to get a bunch of shelves for my walls or something.
Something.
So I was like, maybe when one of the girls finally moves out, I'll turn their room into just a room for Star Wars.
That's what I would do, for sure. If I had it my way, our guest room would have been a Star Wars room. But I got the bathroom, that was it. And my closet.
Well, I mean, if Randall just leaves for a week to go to work and comes home and the room's, what is he going to do? The walls are already painted.
I did that with the bathroom because we first moved in together. He was like, I just really want to just keep it neutral. It's our first house, yada, yada. So I'm like, fine. And I think we've been there for about a year. And then he was gone for a week. No, I think he was gone for 2 weeks. And he came home and I was like, ta-da! Star Wars bathroom. He's like, all right, you can have a Star Wars bathroom.
he goes to wash he goes to wash his hands. It's all like hell late at night, and he just like the lights off. He goes pee. He goes to wash his hands, and he goes to like pump the soap container, and he's like, "Why is it spiky?" And he doesn't realize. He turns on the light, and it's Darth Maul's head that he's pushing the soap out of, and he's like, "Mariah!"
I actually had a Darth Vader one, but it broke. I haven't replaced
Yeah,
it. But yeah, I totally did that. And he was just like, all right. So,
yeah, hell yeah. Do you have your answers?
I do have my answers. Okay.
Okay. What's your your top 5 favorite your favorite characters in Star Wars, but your least favorite would be number 5. So who's that?
Okay. Number 5. He's still one of my favorites, but I had to put him down. Chopper. Love little Chopper.
Okay.
After rewatching Rebels, I forgot how much I love him.
Yeah. He was almost R2 with taking it up a notch, you know what I mean? Like they really were able to show like the sarcasm and the
His sassiness.
they gave him more with the arms and the way that he rolled and stuff. I think it just came through better with Chopper.
Yeah, like I like R2. I think he's adorable, but I don't know. I love Chopper's like sassiness and his attitude.
Yeah. So my 5th one would be probably Boba Fett.
Damn it! I didn't even think of him.
Definitely. Yeah. So
He's my top 10.
out of my top 5 favorite Star Wars characters, he's number 5. And the only reason is like, so again, with the Kenner backs for the Power of the Force 2 action figures, his little card file is very brief. Like you don't know much about him. And when you didn't know a lot about him, that's when like the imagination just speculated all the crazy stuff that he did. I still like him as a character. I would like to see some younger bounty hunting, like 3D animation shorts or something that would flesh out more of that ruthless bounty hunter. But for me, he's number 5 for that simple reason that the mysteriousness of him has kind of gone away to make it just kind of like, okay.
Yeah, like doing like a Tales of Jedi or something with him. Like throwing a couple episodes of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Tales of the
Yeah.
Fett.
That I think. Yeah, I think Ominous, I think is the name of the book that I have of him, and it's like all of his different comics that Marvel did throughout the time, and I think some of those stories are really, really good. Some of them are a little, cartoonish, but I think stuff like that would make it really interesting.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Who's your number 4?
4 would be Padme. She has to be on here.
I'm sorry, who?
Padme.
Oh, you cut out for a minute. I'm sorry.
Oh. Yeah, Padme because
and why is Padme?
Because being just a girl too, and just seeing, I feel like I've seen this a lot on Instagram with girls lately too. Growing up, especially with brothers, I felt like you had to be more of like, I was a big tomboy. I always wore boy clothes, and I just felt like I was very insecure about being like a feminine like girl. And seeing Padme, who is like this badass, but also has those beautiful, feminine outfits, and she just has that feminine energy to her, but also is a badass on the side. And so that kind of helped me realize like, oh, you can be both. You don't have to be, one way and just be tough all the time and act like a dude. So I think that really helped me kind of realize that I could still be a girly girl while still getting shit done, And I think that's helped a lot of girls. I've noticed like them coming out about her being feminine, realizing that they can be too, and not feel like ashamed of it, I guess.
Nice.
Nice.
I like that. My number 4 would be I'm gonna go with Clone Wars era Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say Clone Wars era Obi-Wan is because you really get to see during that time how noble of a Jedi Knight he was and how committed to the Jedi Order he was. Because it's like, he's young and he's a Padawan in um, episode 1, so he's very anxious. You know what I mean? Like he rushes in with that lightsaber and wants to, cut Maul down and almost loses to Maul because, he's not walking that path. And then, you cut to episode 2 where he's kind of like, I have to be like Qui-Gon Jinn to Anakin, but it's not quite how Obi-Wan should be. So he's still filling himself out. And then you fast forward to, episode 3, and he's, a little bit more gritty and hardened, but you don't know why. And then it's like, Alec Guinness, when he's older and wiser, you can put 2 and 2 together. But that era during the Clone Wars of, not believing Dooku and then finding out that Dooku is, Lord Tyrannus, and still choosing to walk the right path. And then, his love for, Satine, and watching the person that he loved die and get murdered and not being able to fall to the dark side and still continuing to fight nobly. I liked that, because it showed his true character to the Order. And
100%.
plus he looked so badass in red and black Mandalorian armor.
Right?
Like I'm like, where's that figure, Hasbro? You have the parts, let's make it.
Put it together.
Like seriously. But yeah, he's my number 4.
So that's funny because Clone Wars Obi-Wan's my number 3. For like basically the same reasons. Watching him go through that and like he still doesn't go to the dark side and just he's got so much development too, and you just see him go through all the hardship and he's still, Obi-Wan. That's funny.
How funny is it that we didn't plan this? We obviously didn't rehearse this since
Right.
I gave you a little background story. But we have the same answer. You know what I mean? On the same character.
Just different
and
slots.
then he's my number. Yeah, that's so funny. But no, yeah, I totally agree. I'm glad that we're on the same page. It's like a,
Like what you said was perfect.
So yeah. My number 3, I'm going to go with it's tough to narrow down a specific clone. Like most people love Rex, right? Because he was the predominant clone that was featured in the Clone Wars, right? But then also you have to think back like on Heavy, and you see Heavy, if nobody's watched it, spoiler, sacrifice himself in an episode, and then you get a couple episodes down the line and you get the backstory on Heavy and everything that goes with, and like 99 and like Waxer and Boyle and Fixer and all of them, like all of those small clones that they built character development, and they made you like fall for these people that are just like, when they get sacrificed, you just sit there and like you're in like awe and shock. So it's kind of hard to like pick a specific one. But Angelina just got home.
Hi.
She said hi, Mariah.
Hi.
It's hard to pick, but I would say like Cody. I really liked Cody. I feel like they didn't give him enough justice. But just like the clones overall would be my number 3, just because they gave you so many different emotions throughout the series of like joy, anxiety, heartbreak, you know what I mean, happiness. So
Oh
they
yeah.
really made the show, like they made you feel for the show.
Like friggin'
So
Tech's
they're my
death
number
made me
3.
cry.
Yeah, and
So
you
sad.
spoiled it for
I
me.
know. I
Sheesh,
forgot about that.
you literally spoiled it for me.
Anyways, moving on. My number 2 is Maul, of course, because I
Yeah,
think
he's my number 2 too.
no way.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, mine because he was, I think, why I fell in, besides Anakin, why I fell in love with Star Wars, because I just thought I was a weird kid. He had horns, he was red and black, and he had double saber. He was badass. And then when you maybe watch Clone Wars, I was just, yep, he's my favorite character. Like, I don't know, there's something about him. His backstory, everything.
Yeah.
He's just a very
Yeah,
misunderstood,
definitely.
like,
Uh,
character, but he's, I don't know, he's hard to explain.
yeah. I think they gave him a really good arc.
Yeah.
You know, them being able to bring him back and the way that they brought him back and to show that, like, oh, he stayed alive because of his hatred for Obi-Wan. He was consumed by hatred, which forced him to tap in further into the dark side, made it even that more mysterious,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And it's just one of those scenes where it's just like, man, like you hadn't seen, nobody's probably seen any of that kind of like hatred and dark side powers since like the old Republic era. So most people don't even really know about anything like that, you know. But yeah, he is definitely my number 2. Like I like how they found him. I loved finding out about Dathomir and the
Mm-hmm.
Night Sisters and all of that and how everything came to be about. And then they also make you feel bad for him too because he was basically sacrificed by, you know, the mother and, you know, here, you know, you can take him, use him, you know, and the way that they kind of used them and like made them fight almost like Hunger Games styles, you know,
Mm-hmm.
to get picked. I was just like, that's ruthless. No wonder why they were like so driven towards the dark side. And
So
then just
angry.
seeing him like, yeah, and just seeing him mad and then seeing him like bring together the syndicate and like be corrupt and um, just badass.
Right.
I
All
really
over.
liked him. So, yeah. So before you get to your number 1, give me a couple honorable mentions that you may have thought of.
Honorable mentions. For what?
Yeah, like are there a couple of people that you kind of wanted to put on the list, but
Oh,
they
okay.
didn't make the cut?
Well, when you said clones, Tech popped in my head. I was like, damn it, I wanted to put him on there because I love Tech, especially once
Yeah,
Bad Batch came in. I don't know. I've always liked him. He's just like geeky little, you know, he's got his little glasses. He's so cute. So I wanted him
yeah,
on there. C3PO, because he's just, I think he's adorable too. Those are the only
yeah,
ones that really popped in my head that I really would have wanted to put on there.
yeah. I was thinking Malgus from the Old Republic era, and Darth Bane because they both were two
Of
very
course.
ruthless Sith lords that I really liked. I thought Luke Skywalker, um, just because you know he is the hero that you seen, and it's the person who like you rooted for and you wanted to be when you were younger. You know, as the boy. You know, most of us wanted to be,
The
you know,
boy.
Han, but some wanted to be Luke. So I thought of him as an honorable mention too. So who's your number 1?
Who do you think? Anakin motherfreaking Skywalker.
I knew that. So that's why I wanted to start from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Yeah. I think
No.
everyone knows my number one.
Yeah, I think it's only on your shirt, your bag, your car. I'm surprised you don't have a Darth Vader tattoo.
My water bottle, Anakin Skywalker fan club. I will have a tattoo one day.
One
Who's your
day.
first?
Um, I want to know why he's your first.
Oh, okay. So, like I said in the second episode, it was relatable growing up throughout all the stages, even his whiny stages, his Clone War stages, all that. And I thought I was gonna marry him, so that has a factor into it too. Because most of my life, most of my childhood, that was my husband. Um, but I don't know. I think he's a very misunderstood character out of all of them, and I think with me going through, not that like you said, I didn't have a bad childhood, but going through like foster care and all that and stuff, I felt like I kind of related that way. Like, yeah, he got taken from his mom. And so, in a way, when I was younger, to me, I was like, oh, I was taken from my mom. But now he's with Obi-Wan, like, and has a good life. Now I'm with my family. I have a good life. So I felt like I related when I was younger with that, too. But I honestly think as he got older, it was just, I just had a huge crush on him.
Yeah, that's good.
So,
I
yeah.
like that. I like that. Similar.
Yeah.
Kind of similar. That's cool. Yeah. So, I would say, for some reason, one of my number number one character that I've liked thus far is Bo Katan.
I would not have
I
guessed that.
really, yeah, like she has been my favorite character, and the character development that Filoni and them have done with her and fleshing out her from this ruthless killer with Death Watch to trying to be somebody honorable. I think that it pays homage to all of the badass women who were action heroes before this generation of we have to turn everything around and make every male action hero a female action hero now. It's so seamlessly easy with how they developed her character to make her how I felt like when Sigourney Weaver, played Ripley in Alien, or I forget the actress's name, but she was a badass in Red Sonja. She played in the Conan movie, and then she got her own movie like Red Sonja, and just all looking back at all those 80s and early 90s movies that I would watch with Sarah Connor being a badass and everything. It just kind of took me back nostalgically to that time when I was younger, and I would enjoy these movies and the strong characters that they were. I like how they have done that with her, and even though a lot of the fans complain about her being so heavily in The Mandalorian, I do like that they gave her some kind of redemption and how they made her feel like, oh, you know what, this, I've carried this burden on my shoulders of, losing the dark saber and, having Mandalore fall to the Empire, to give her that arc of no, there's still people loyal to you and you're still, worthy of carrying the Kreese name.
Yeah, I really liked her as character. If I could go back, she's going to be on my list too.
Yeah.
Because even in Clone Wars, when she first appeared, I loved her character. Just because, yeah, she was younger in it, but she's definitely that, like you said, she wanted to prove herself, be a warrior, and she kind of just, even though her beliefs might have gotten her in some trouble, she stuck strong to, what she believed in, and I really like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. That platform scene when she's fighting with Obi-Wan and he's like, "You're Satine's sister. I'm so sorry." I was like,
yeah,
damn. And she just gives him that look and she's like, "Hey, this is Mandalore." I was like, she's a badass.
Mm-hmm.
Or when she smacks Ahsoka in the ass when they're on that snow planet.
Yeah. She does
I was
not
like,
care.
oh my God. I was like, Yeah, yeah, and I also like Katie Sackhoff as an actress. I never got into like what was she in Battlestar Galactica,
Yeah.
but like I remember watching her the first time in that Riddick movie, and I was like, who is this badass? And then just the strength that she portrays in the live action, I was like, I like this character. They've done well with her,
And she did good doing
so
live
she's
action.
definitely the way that they even cut in her eyebrows to make them more like the animated show. I was like, that's believable. That's believable. So
Nailed it.
so yeah, she'd be my number one right now for sure. So
Right now.
definitely.
No, she's a great character.
I don't know. I mean, there's other there's other things coming out. I might like another character later down. We'll cut back a year later and from now and look back a year later and see if our list has changed.
Same. Ooh, I put Ahsoka on my list too. Damn it. This was too hard for just 5.
Well, I gave you a week to figure out which ones you wanted.
Well, you know what?
Look at you.
I will get
For somebody
together with
who's
other
so
ones.
punctual and so organized.
I know, I wasn't organized for this at all.
So we'll do this one as the and then next week we'll do 5 characters we hate.
Ooh, that's a good one. Okay, I'll actually be ready for that one. Do my homework.
You're all it's real easy. Jar Jar, Jar Jar, Jar Jar, Jar Jar, and Jar Jar. You're all Jar Jar episode 1, Jar Jar episode 2, Jar
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 Jar Clone
episode
Wars.
3, Jar Jar Clone Wars, and just motherfucking Jar Jar.
Oh my gosh.
Probably have to bleep that out. So, but even in the
Okay,
Clone Wars,
yeah.
they gave him a little bit of justice.
It's weird when he got a girlfriend though.
So, God,
We didn't need that.
literally,
It's like why? Why did he
no,
need a girlfriend?
literally. I did like seeing Riz Ahmed though in live action as a Jedi because it's cool how they tie all of that together because his character was from some other kind of show.
Yeah.
I forget what it is because I've never watched it, but
It's
it's
the
cool to
Jedi
bring him in as canon.
like Temple Challenge or something. It was a kid show.
Yeah, yeah, and it was almost like like parkourish, and they had to like do obstacle courses and stuff.
Yeah, I think so.
Hold on, my comb over's not right. I'm like, what do I need a comb over for? I got a head full of hair, bro.
All right.
So, you gonna still rock the same color of hair, or are you
Huh?
getting antsy and wanting to dye it again? Are you getting antsy and wanting to dye your hair again, or are you gonna rock that color?
I'm gonna rock this color for a while. I don't know what else to do. So we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm running out of colors to do.
I'll send you. Well, I mean, you could just go like, yeah, I don't know. I seen a girl today with blue faded hair, and I
Blue.
was like, ooh, she needs a touch up.
Girl,
So,
get your hair done. No, I think red
but
like matches me pretty well, so I stick to it when I can't think of anything else.
yeah, no, it does. It does. It does. I know. I was thinking about it too. I was like, damn. I was like, when you won the show, you had purple hair, didn't you?
Well, yeah, it was like a
I think
magenta.
you
It
had
was like a
purple hair.
pinkish purple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It went well though it went well with the bikini though, and
Yeah,
I
it did.
think that's something that I think that's something that a lot of like female competitors don't realize when they pick their suits is they pick colors that don't complement their skin tone.
Well, it's like so when I showed you a picture of the suit before I bought it, and it was just a picture, not on anybody, and you're like, I don't know. You're like, I don't know if that's gonna look good, yada yada, because you didn't see it, but when I put it on with my tan and stuff, you're like, oh, okay. It's like I
Yeah.
told you, I told you it was gonna look good with
Yeah.
the red
Yeah.
or the pinkish hair.
Yeah. 100%. Mariah was right. Mariah
Hell
was
yeah, it
right.
was.
So, so, but I do though, like I think about some of that, like watching enough competitors that I've watched on stage, and like as you're like critiquing them, not necessarily on their body, but more of like the fashion element of it, I can see like things that clash, and I don't think a lot of people realize that
They just think
when they're
brighter
female
colors
competitors.
are gonna just make them stand out, and it's like, yeah, bright's good, but you also want it to complement you
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, you want it to complement your hair, your skin tone, all these different things. And yeah, definitely looking back, because I was going through videos trying to pick out the videos so that I can send you for like a complimation. Compla.
Complimation. I know what you're trying to say. I can't say it
We're just two people on the internet that don't know how to say words.
either.
Clip it. Oh man. But it definitely complemented your hair and your skin tone having that color. It was like the trifecta, it all pulled together. So,
Yeah, because for my first show, I had the red
but
bikini and bright red hair, and now looking back, that was too
mm-hmm,
much red. Like, I was just a little too
too much
much.
red, definitely.
Hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Or you get those girls that have dark hair and they wear dark suits. And it's like, no, if you have dark hair, you want a lighter suit to make it pop,
Yeah.
and vice versa. If you have lighter hair, you want a darker suit so your suit pops amongst that blonde, curly wavy hair. And I don't know. So it was just something that I was thinking about that I don't think a lot of people think. They don't take into consideration, like I'm going to get this one because it's cute. Or they see the price of them and they end up picking their bikini based off of the cheaper price, not on how well it complements your body
Hmm.
shape and skin tone.
I was like, I
Because I mean,
talked
let's
to
face it.
this guy who I was friends with in high school. He wrote me, and his wife wants to do a show. So it's like, you're the only person I thought of. So I got on the phone with her just to kind of give her an idea of what to expect. And it's always so shocking to people how much bikinis are. And I'm like, it's not cheap to do it with the spray tan, the bikini being on the low end, $300. And that's for like a used one or like one that no one, they've already made and no one claimed. Because that was my first bikini. It was 300 because it was just already on the rack, already made. And she's like, oh. And I was like,
Yeah.
yeah. And then think about posing. I said, I would definitely get into a posing coach. I didn't do it my first show or something. So I told her, because I know you're not really taking on people, but I just directed her towards Christy. I said, I don't know who she works with, but go get some information from her at least. Because she's got a whole
Yeah.
slew of people she works with.
Well, you can. Yeah. Well, you can message me later and let me know who it is. Maybe I'll work something out.
I have to
What
look her
show
name
is
up.
she wanting to do?
I don't remember, honestly. But she wants to do
So,
physique, I think she said. I could be wrong.
okay.
I'll have to look
Does
at the
she have a
messages.
little bit more muscle mass on her?
I haven't seen what she looks like. Like I said, my buddy just wrote me and gave me her number, and we just
Yeah.
talked on the phone, so I don't know. But her and her sister want to do it together. I
Yeah.
guess she said they've been working out a while, lost a lot of weight, but they basically want to put muscle on and just get ready for the show. So I'll have to look at the messages and send
Yeah,
them to
send
you.
me their info.
She goes,
Send me their info, and then maybe if I can.
she goes to Lord's.
Sorry,
So.
go ahead.
She goes to Lord's, so.
Yeah, let me know. Lords is number one. A-OK. But yeah, give me her information and let me know, and I'll see about it. So,
Okay.
but yeah, a lot of potential competitors, they don't realize how much it takes to make. Is that Tong Fong Lo? Oh, never mind. Sorry, I'm hungry.
Oh my gosh.
Clip it.
You're right. Not staying in,
Clip it.
buddy. You talk about Chinese food?
I've been pretty good. I did break my no. I did break my no fast food that I started. I went 6 whole months, and it was super late at night, and I was like, forget it. I'll get some Taco Bell. And I literally had 2 crunchy tacos, and I was like, this doesn't even taste good. So I was
Garbage.
like, I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. And it's so funny too, because it's just like anytime that I ever did prep, I craved Taco Bell for some reason. Like I wanted Taco Bell. Like I don't even know what it was. And it would be so good when I would have it, and I would just constantly think about it. And now that like I've transitioned to be like, oh, I don't want to eat fast food, so I'm just choosing not to eat fast food. I don't crave it. And then the one time that I did have it, it did not taste good.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, wow, am I just becoming more disciplined? So I almost felt a little guilty.
That's how I felt. It's been a while since I've had Taco Bell, but I did have Taco Bell. Same thing. I was like, ugh. So I thought maybe our Taco Bell just sucks here, but maybe that's it too. I just haven't had it, and my body doesn't crave it anymore.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, it's like all those chemicals that they put in it that makes it crave. It's like your body has detoxed it all out after this significant amount of time. So now
Mm-hmm.
you don't like it as much as you thought you liked it. So, because I mean, let's face it, they do add in preservatives and all of these craving additives,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Get you addicted.
Yeah, Frito Lay's and Nabisco are really notorious for it.
My thing are the Dots pretzels, the cinnamon ones. I don't know if you've had those. Those are crack to me. Like I can't not. Like I just
What are they?
yeah, crack.
What are they again?
Their Dots is a brand, and they're pretzel sticks. And they have like honey mustard ones, barbecue ones, but they came out with like a limited edition cinnamon ones. Those are addicting. You can't. And I'll just have a serving. I'm like, I'm just gonna have a serving. What it says. I weigh it out, and I can't. I can't just have a serving. So yeah.
Yeah, I've never had it.
Well, don't have them. They're addicting.
I'll have to look. Where do you get them?
We get them here at Kroger's, so it's like a Rayleigh's. That's where we found them.
Kroger's.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. So, well, that's cool. How long have we been on now?
An hour and 20 minutes.
All right, we should probably cut it.
Yeah.
That way the episode's not too long.
Because it'll definitely slim it down. I'll edit a lot out in the beginning, but yeah. I think that's a pretty good amount.
Yeah.
Good episode,
Yeah.
good episode.
It was a good episode. So,
Chaotic.
yeah. We thrive in chaos.
Yes, we
I'm
do.
like left, right, left, right. Right.
Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel.
Literally. Mm-hmm. Well, it's good talking to you.
You too.
I know it's late over there, so.
Not too bad. I'm going to put the chickens away and get ready for bed.
Oh, yeah. Your dogs eat better than most people, I just have to say. So,
They really do. It's bad. Spoiled.
Yeah. And like for everybody out there that says, oh, I don't have no time to prep food. I don't have time to prep my meals. It's just more convenient. I want to just say Mariah preps all of her food, all of her husband's food, and she preps her spoiled ass dog's food. Not one, not two, not three, like you have time. You literally have time to prep your food if one little chicken can prep so many different people's food.
Right. I think about that.
So
too.
don't be lazy.
I can do it.
Don't be lazy. Yeah. I don't want to hear no excuse you didn't have time to prep your meal if this girl's waking up at 5 a.m. So,
right.
But also too, it also makes me want to become more disciplined with my diet. And actually prepping my meals instead of just conveniently getting stuff because, I work in a restaurant. So it's like, if I need 14 ounces of meat, I can just be like, hey, cut me 14 ounces of steak and grill it off real quick with no seasoning.
Yeah.
and give me a baked potato, so it is quite convenient to have that at the palm of your hands when I can literally modify anything and do it, Oh,
That's
you don't want
true.
no oil? Okay, cool. Oh, it's Manuel's food, so we're not going to put any salt on it and we're not going to cook it in oil. We'll cook the potatoes the way he likes them and stuff. So I have to
Spoiled.
get out of that. Yes, I have to get out of that routine of being spoiled because it's convenient for me and get back in the habit of, actually eating what I need to eat. Like, yeah, I can order rice and just chicken and vegetables at work, but like it's a little cheaper if I make it myself.
Exactly.
So but all right, this was a great episode. Like, subscribe, comment,
All
and
the things.
remember, you can, you can be a nerd and you can also lift weights.